So you want to go camping, but you're not sure which camping chair you should buy. Well, you're in luck, because I just spent $600 on these camping chairs to help you make the right decision. But testing camping chairs inside isn't the best way to do it, so let's get on outside and let's get honest. What's up everybody, my name's Dan. Welcome to Ahnestly. This is where we review chairs, desk setups, and tech. And so let's go ahead and start with the boring ones and then we'll make our way to the crazy weird ones. Starting with the Coleman Broadband, this is your pretty standard fare chair. It comes in at $20, really affordable. Starting with the pros, it's got a mesh back allowing wind to pass through for better breathability, and so the chair won't knock over when wind comes. And it's pretty light, weighing about 7 pounds, so really easy to carry around. And it comes with a carrying case, making it even easier to carry around, freeing up your hands. The cons of this chair is that I'm 5'6", 174 pounds, so not that big. But when I sit in this chair, I feel pretty claustrophobic. Like, it is a pretty small chair. And then here's the other con, and this is gonna be true about most of the chairs on this list, is that because of the nature of the fabric, when you sit in it, it really hugs your butt. So it sinks in so your butt is hugged, but what happens is naturally, because it's like this, the edges are still raised up. And the edges on almost every single camping chair here are very, very stiff, very, very hard. And so it's gonna put a lot of pressure on your thighs here. Again, this isn't just true about this here, it's gonna be true for most every chair. So if you're slightly bigger than me, if you're taller than 5'6", you might wanna go with a bigger chair compared to this one. If you're small or petite, this one isn't so bad. Again, 20 bucks, pretty standard fare. Next up is the Coleman Quad. This is like the upgrade to the Broadband, and some of the pros are that it comes just with more features. It's got the what do we call it? The water bottle holder, just like the Broadband does. But on the left side, you've actually got a cooler here. So it's lined pocket here, so you keep your drinks cold. And then it's also got a pocket. What? I thought I had a pocket. Oh, down here, yeah. The pocket is down here on the right side to store additional stuff. But the biggest selling point about the Quad is that it is just a significantly bigger chair than the Broadband. It's wider, it's taller, and it feels much more roomy. Like, you notice it immediately. But again, the con for this chair, the primary con is gonna be the same as the Broadband, and the con that we're gonna see over and over again, which is that, hey, even though you get a little bit more room in this chair to spread your legs out because of the nature of the fabric and how it bends down, the ends are going to be pretty high up, and it's using very stiff material up here, which means it can dig into your quad. So if you're somebody with bigger thighs, you're just somebody who has bigger legs in general, then you may want to go with an even bigger chair, which is up next. Now, even if you're not big and tall, having a bigger chair can be really awesome because you just feel like you have so much more freedom in the chair. And that's exactly what you get with the Kingcamp Oversized chair. This thing offers the exact same features as the Quad, where on the right side, you get your water bottle holder, as well as a pocket to hold extra stuff. And then on the left side, you get a cooler here to keep your things extra cool or hot. But the biggest benefit is gonna be that this seat is wider and taller than the Quad, and it is crazy, crazy well built. As soon as you sit in it, this thing feels rock sturdy. The problem is this thing comes in, and this is a big con, it comes in at 13.2 pounds. The Quad comes in at 8.2 pounds, so that's a whopping 5 pounds heavier, but this chair can support, I believe, up to 400 pounds. Now, another con, as always, is going to be that because of the nature of the fabric and how it bends in, the edges are going to be propped higher up, and even though the chair is wider, so you can definitely open up those legs more, if you put it all the way to the ends, these hard parts will dig into your thighs. Finally, we're gonna get to the more interesting chairs, but first, if you like this kind of content, if you like that I'm basking in this hot weather for this review, please give this video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments which chair looks the coolest or most appealing to you, and get subscribed for more honest reviews. I really appreciate it. Next up is the GCI Freestyle rocker chair. And the pros about this chair is that it is by far the easiest chair to set up and tear down. All it takes is this, and then you grab the handle here or on the side over here, and you are just on your way. So if you're ever being chased by a bear and you can't stand the thought of leaving your $60 chair behind, well, that's all you gotta do and you can be on your way. Another clear pro about this chair is the rocking motion. Let me go ahead and turn it to the side. This rocking motion is incredible. It's super duper smooth, feels really, really great. And yeah, there's just nothing like it on the market that can do this so nicely. It doesn't squeak at all, but there is an indicator that if it does get squeaky, you can put some oil there and it should take the squeak away. Now, one of the things, another pro about this chair is that the fabric in this chair, especially in the seat, is the most tight, the most taut of all the chairs here. And what that means is with other chairs, you know how when you sit in it, it's gonna sag really hard at the butt. This chair, it's much more taut, and so you're gonna kind of sit on top of it, and it feels really, really supportive. Now, getting into the cons, let's talk about that seat. Sometimes when it's super taut like that, some people don't like it. They feel like it's too firm for them. They feel like they want a little bit more give, and so that's something that you need to keep in mind. Now, one of the things that does happen is that if you scooch all the way back inside of your chair, because it's so taut, this whole front section can dig into your thighs. It's really easy to remediate. All you gotta do is scooch down just a tiny bit and just enjoy the rock, and all is well. Another con is going to be that even though this is the easiest to set up and take apart, well, the problem is, to carry it around, you need a hand. And when you're camping, when you're taking things around, you would much rather have a shoulder strap like most of these other chairs here, so that you can have your hands free to carry other things. With this one, you don't really get that choice. It's also pretty heavy. This thing weighs 12 pounds. And then the final con is that because there is no carrying case, because it's just totally exposed like this, if you go ahead and put it in your garage and put it away like this, bugs can make their homes in this chair, all over the chair, so the next time you grab it, it might be filled with bugs. Next up is the CLIQ chair, and there is a lot to like about this chair. First of all, it's insanely portable. You saw just how small it was in my hands. Well, this thing weighs under 2 pounds, and it can support up to 300 pounds. It's absolutely crazy. But it's also multi-purpose. Because it's so low to the ground and it's got this mesh back and mesh front here, it makes it a good candidate both for camping, to be low to the ground, close to the fire, but it also makes it good for beaches as well because the wind can pass through. Again, it's low to the ground and the wind won't pick it and send it flying. Another pro is that even though it's kind of naturally leaned back, as you can see, this thing is leaned pretty far back, you can sit upright inside of the chair. And that's because the bottom of the chair really holds onto your tushy really nicely, giving you a little bit extra support to be able to sit up in the chair just like this. And the frame is a little bit wobbly, but sturdy. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not wobbly in the sense that it feels cheap. It's wobbly in the sense that it feels like you're kind of in a hammock here. And so you're able to move around and get a little bit of freedom and movement inside of the chair. It's a really, really nice touch. There are some cons about this chair, the biggest one being the fact that when I go into the relax mode, this thing just leans back a little too far. Like at first this feels like, oh, okay, it's pretty good. But the problem is, one, it goes back really far, which wouldn't be an issue except for the second part, which is that the backrest isn't all that high. So as you can see, me being 5'6", this thing barely comes up to my upper middle-ish back. And what that means is after a few minutes, my neck and my upper back feel really strained in this position, which means I have to primarily sit like this inside of the chair. Now, that wouldn't be a huge issue except for the price. This thing being $109. It's just too much to not be able to relax and lounge in a chair at this price. The fact that I do understand the price though, like the design, the engineering that went into keeping into this into all in one piece so you can easily break this thing down, easily fold it. Here, I'll go ahead and do it right now while I'm talking, is absolutely nutty. Like, you're gonna see the one that comes up next. You're gonna see how that one is actually 2 pieces. It's significantly cheaper, but it's gonna be much more frustrating to install and uninstall compared to this one. All you gotta do now is I push this button, I turn it, I drop everything in, I fold it up, I do this, oh, other way, I do this, and I'm ready to go. This thing has never touched the ground. I never had to put anything on the floor. Super easy to set up, super easy to go. If you like the idea of a super compact and lightweight chair, the iClimb Ultra Compact Lightweight Chair is going to be my #1 pick. So the pros of this chair is that it is super light, just a little heavier than the CLIQ, weighing at 2.1 pounds. The installation for this thing, while it's not the fastest, it is simple. It's not really difficult to do. All you gotta do is undo the Velcro and just kind of shake it and everything will kind of go into its place. You just might need to guide a couple pulls here and there and make sure it's inside. Now, when it comes to the profile of it, because it sits low to the ground, it's great for campfires, but it's also great for the beach. The wind can go right through the mesh, preventing it from getting knocked down, and it's not that high up, so it won't blow away with the wind. But the biggest pro and the biggest advantage of the iClimb over the CLIQ is just the seating experience. So when you sit inside this chair, again, it really squeezes that butt nicely so that you get support so you can sit upright inside of the chair. But the biggest thing is that when you relax in this chair, look, this thing is not nearly as much of a drastic back angle like the CLIQ. I don't feel like my neck is being strained here, but it also has to do with the fact that the backrest on the iClimb is taller as well. So in the relaxed position, this feels really, really good. Also, just like the CLIQ, the frame is a little bit bendy, but really sturdy. By bendy, I don't mean cheap. I mean bendy as in you can move and wiggle around in the chair so you don't feel like you're stuck in this position all day long. You can have a little bit of fun and kind of wiggle and jiggle throughout the day. Now, the biggest, couple other pros is that it comes with a carrying case, and it also comes with these big wide fat feet so that if you're in sand or wet ground, you can put them on so it prevents you from sinking. It's a nice little touch. So the cons, the biggest con about this chair is that uninstalling and installing this chair is just a pain, right? It's not difficult, it's just annoying and it takes a long time. It requires you to put things on the ground, and if you're at the beach, that can be a little annoying, especially because sand might be on the floor. So I'm gonna show you exactly how to break this chair down. It might not be done on my first take here, so if it's a shoot over, I apologize. But this thing comes in 2 pieces. So in order to break it down, you have to take apart the fabric. All you gotta do is pull up at the 4 corners. By the way, pro tip, when you're installing it, the iClimb goes on the taller side, just so you know exactly where it goes. But let me go ahead and take off the fabric. Literally, it's just these holes that you pull off of the legs, and that's that part, right? So you just wanna lay that down flat, just like that. Now, when it comes to these, there were no instructions online on how to disassemble it, which is why I'm showing you here. So what you're gonna do is you want your right side and your left side separate, right? You don't want it both tall like this. You wanna see it right side here and left side here. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and take apart all the little pulls, and you're gonna wrap it along this right side, this left side arm here for me. Basically, follow where the Velcro strap is, okay? So go ahead and put that, you're gonna all collapse it right into there, and then you're gonna go ahead and kind of just Velcro those legs together. And then the same with the right side, again, short, tall here, right side. Collapse these and put them all right into the center here. And then you're gonna go ahead and Velcro this together. And then what's gonna happen is, if you pull just like that, these are gonna come apart. And now what you can do is you can bend this part down, and you can bend this up just like that, and now you have 2 pieces, and this thing is totally collapsed. Then what you do with this piece is you're gonna go ahead and take the fabric here, you're gonna go ahead and drop it in the middle, and you can kind of fold it whichever way you want. I honestly don't know what the best way is here. I'm gonna kind of do it like a burrito. You wrap it just like that, and then you drop it inside your case. As you can see, I didn't do the best job here. It's probably not gonna fit totally inside, but this is kind of how you do it here. This is what I mean. Like, it's not difficult to do, but it's such a pain compared to the CLIQ, which is just a single piece. But I will say that for the experience of, like for the hassle of having to, this being annoying to put away, this thing costs $37, which means you could buy 3 of these for the price of a single CLIQ. And for that price, I'm willing to be inconvenienced. As a matter of fact, I might just fold this in and put it in here and just keep this thing next to it because it's just so darn small. And now we get into the most interesting chairs. This is the Kingcamp hammock chair, and this thing is super duper unique. So the pros of this chair is that even though it comes in a 2-piece where you got fabric and then you got the frame, it's really easy to install. You open it up, this thing installs super easily onto the frame because there are 2 holes, 2 nubs here. You just drop it in and that's that. As for the frame, you just take it out of the thing, it'll open up on its own, and then you just extend this arm far enough, you can lift it off the ground for an easier extension until a hole is exposed, and then you take this pin that comes on both sides, and then you feed it through the hole until it's totally on the other side so that it can't sink back in. Then you just clip these on, and that's it. And breaking down is just as easy. The other pro is obviously going to be the hammock feature. So, this thing is really nice. You just kind of push it to the ground, get your butt on it nice and tight, and then you go ahead and you just hammock. Another pro is that if it were just like this, your eyes would kind of be in the skies, and if there's sun out, it would blind you like it is doing for me now, even though it's not sunny. So they included a pillow, and while it's not the thickest pillow, it does help keep your eyes a little bit more straight, keeping them out of the sun, and that is a nice little touch there. And then the last pro is going to be that you don't have to just relax in the hammock. You can also sit up. This thing provides a nice big cushion for your booty, or squeezes your booty, allowing you to sit up pretty easily in this chair. You don't feel like you're gonna tip back. So that's really nice as well. The cons about this chair is that you absolutely must not put this chair in front of a fire or on a slope. Because here's the thing, what I've noticed is that okay, you see that now, right? I'm just scooching back in the chair, and you can see that the legs are lifting up pretty easily. Now, if you're on a slope or something and your slope downwards, well, if you do that, you're going backwards, right? And then also, you don't want to fire in front of it because when you try to get out of the chair, this thing is swinging. And if you're short, if you're a kid and you got short legs and you're trying to do that, imagine, whoa, and you're falling on your face and you're coming out medium rare, right? Like, so please be very careful with this chair, use it wisely. Otherwise, it's a really, really unique, really, really interesting chair. I like it a lot. Last up is the outdoor living Suntime chair, and I really, really like this chair. So the pros is that it folds up just like you would with any other standard flare chair. It's just gonna be a lot fatter because you got the footrest that you gotta include in that fold motion as well. Other pros are gonna be that it's pretty low to the ground and it's got mesh, which means it's good for camping and for the beach if you really wanted to take this behemoth to the beach with you. Some other pros to consider is that, hey, because it's got a footrest, it bypasses a lot of that issue I talked about on some of the other chairs, where because your legs are raised instead of flat on the ground, you're not feeling that tension on your thighs here because nothing's digging in because your legs are raised up. It feels really, really nice. Now, if you don't want these footrests, you can easily disassemble them. I'll disassemble them in just a second because I want to talk about the cons about this in just a sec. But you can also do something really cool, which is that right now you're in kind of lounge mode and it's got a pillow, which is really cool, but you can also get it to go upright. And the way you do that is that you pull on the arm and you lift up. It's not even that hard. You just lift up like this, and then you'll feel it kind of push down into another slot. And as you can see, now you're in upright mode. So if you want to go from relaxed to business or sit up and you got to do stuff, well, you can easily do that inside of this chair. Now, if you want, again, you can permanently remove these legs, or you can fold them and just get them out of the way just like that. If you want to permanently remove them, there's a zipper here that you can unzip, and that's easy to do as well. I much prefer this method because of the primary con when it comes to this chair, which is gonna be that these things are a pain in the butt, right? I wish there was a better way to keep these connected or disconnect them so you could just kind of quickly lower them out of the way. There's no way to do that. The only way is that using these clips here, you have to clip into the leg across. And the reason why this is so annoying is because the only way you can do it is by getting out of the chair, getting on the ground, and having to clip them in. That's not so bad. The bad part is, oh, why isn't it doing now? It's super easy to take off. I don't know why it's not unclipping, but you saw me do it earlier. It unclipped super duper easily, like to the point where if you nudge them, they would just pop out. Let me try to get it to happen now. Let me go ahead and install that first. I sit in the chair and then I go, okay. But I don't know why it's not doing it now. Maybe I gotta take that con away. It's a lot harder to take off than I thought. But anyways, yeah, that was a con. Another con is that this thing is incredibly heavy. I think it's the heaviest one, coming in at about 14-ish pounds. So this is not a light chair. If you want to lug this around, it does offer a lot of comfort though, especially because you can go from comfort or from proper to comfort mode in just a few seconds. And again, it feels really awesome in this mode. It's nothing like it. In conclusion, I have 4 top chair picks out of this list. If you want standard fare, I think the iClimb and the GCI Freestyle rocker are gonna be for you. The iClimb is just a typical chair. It's just nice and big, extra space, extra storage. And the GCI Freestyle rocker is awesome for the rocking capability. It feels really cool. If you want an ultra compact, lightweight chair, the iClimb is definitely gonna be the one for you. I like it far better than the CLIQ just because of the relaxed experience. And if you want a chair with all the dings and whistles, I think this one, I don't even remember, the outdoor living furniture, I actually don't know what it's called. It has such an odd name and there's no, what is it? Suntime. Whatever this one is, I like this one a lot. If I had to pick one chair overall that I'm gonna order, probably for myself and my wife, it's probably gonna be the iClimb. This thing is just super compact, super lightweight, and feels really, really good. That's gonna do it for this one. Until next time, everybody, stay safe, and as always, stay honest.